Episode 13, A Date Continuous. "Hey, Alex, this place is way too high-end," Aya said, eyeing the grand entrance ahead of them. Alex turned to her. "Been here before?" "Not a chance. I mean, I know I'm not broke, but coming to a place like this, you gotta have a reason." "The reason is simple," Alex replied with a calm smile. "To eat." They both stood just outside the Chase Fish and Oyster, an upscale restaurant tucked inside the historic Deneen building. Elegant lighting poured out from behind the glass doors, casting a soft glow on the sidewalk. They exchanged a glance, then gulped at the same time. The awkward silence quickly cracked as they burst out laughing. "Shall we?" Alex said, holding out his healthy hand like a gentleman. Aya hesitated, just a little. "You sure you'll be okay eating in your condition?" she asked, even as she reached out to him. "I'll survive," he chuckled. "Let's just enjoy the meal. Nice and slow." They walked inside together. Aya approached the hostess, gave their name, and the two were soon guided to their table, seated near a window with a view of the city, where soft jazz played in the background. But all through the process, Aya fidgeted. Her hand kept twitching toward her purse. Her eye sparkled. She bit her lip. Alex raised an eyebrow. "Why are you so squirmy?" Finally, Aya gave in. She whipped out her phone like she was drawing a weapon and immediately started snapping photos in every direction. "This lighting. The cutlery. The water glass is shining," she whispered like she'd discovered treasure. Then she turned to Alex. "Come here. We're taking a photo. Hurry." She pulled him in by the sleeve, and in the rush, cheek to cheek. "Just for a second." Alex blinked. Aya didn't. In full photo beast mode, she hadn't even noticed the contact. Alex quietly smiled, letting her have the moment. After a flurry of pictures, they both finally settled in with their menus, ready to order. After a bit of waiting and light conversation about everything and nothing, their meals finally arrived. Aya had gone with the prime strip loin, thick, juicy, and perfectly seared. Alex, on the other hand, had opted for the halibut, paired with a neatly presented dozen oysters. He glanced at her plate, then back at her. "I wasn't expecting that," he said with a small grin. Aya, already cutting into her steak like she meant business, blinked up at him. "What?" Then she glanced at his meal, fish, clean and delicate, then back down at her own carnivorous feast. "So what if I like meat more than fish?" she huffed, slicing another bite. "This isn't a date. I'm your tour guide." Alex chuckled. Yeah. Let's just enjoy the food. Eat slowly, young child." Aya narrowed her eyes. Clank! Her fork collided with his, midair. Alex looked up. "Seriously?" "I think it's rude not to share food," Aya said flatly, raising a brow. "Oh? Since when does a tour guide do that?" Alex asked, putting on his best poker face, though he already knew he was pushing buttons. Aya paused. "What do you mean?" "Hooked. I mean, this doesn't feel like a tour anymore. When the tour guide and tourists start sharing food in a restaurant like this, one with dim lights, mood music, and tables spaced for couples, it starts to look a lot like." His voice trailed off as he casually raised his oyster fork. Aya's eyebrow twitched. She growled, lips curling into a tight smile. "I hate where this is going. Just share your food already." And with that, the battle began. A mini fork fencing match played out between them, Aya lunging with skill and determination, Alex deflecting each strike like a well-trained swordsman. Just a few tables away, obscured by a large indoor plant and an expertly placed column, Geneva, Terrence, and Big Mike observed the chaos. Geneva rubbed her temples. This isn't a date. This is just two children fooling around. Terrence clutched his stomach, turning away and ducking down to hide the fact that he was barely holding in his laughter. Meanwhile, Big Mike chewed thoughtfully on his massive cheeseburger. "I like this place," he said simply. "We got scolded because you didn't share," Aya snapped, poking Alex in the arm as they stepped out of the restaurant. They had just finished their extravagant lunch, paid the bill, and now stood in front of the building as Aya resumed her post-meal rant. "Well, we did make quite the scene," Alex replied with a shrug. Aya glared at him, replaying the entire sequence in her mind. The dramatic fork fight. Her speech on food-sharing etiquette. Ordering 24 oysters just to prove a point. Challenging him to a seafood speed-eating contest. A complete, chaotic disaster of a. "Anyway, where to next on our date, DA?" Alex started, but Aya quickly cut in. "To a day," she snapped. Alex cleared his throat and tried again, smirking. "Our DA. Tour. Day." Alex didn't skip a beat. "Our fake tour but actually date day." Aya's eyes twitched. "You?" The bickering continued as they walked down the sidewalk like two overly competitive high schoolers pretending not to enjoy each other's company. Not too far behind them, hidden just out of view, Geneva sighed into her scarf. "I can't believe we followed them for this," she muttered. Beside her, Terrence and Big Mike stayed quiet, though the faintest snort escaped Terrence as he turned away to hide his grin. "We've been walking for a while now, tour guide," Alex said with a grin. Aya came to a sudden stop. She turned toward him slowly, eyes wide. I don't know where to go next," she admitted, lips quivering as the hint of emotional defeat welled up in her eyes. Alex chuckled. "Finally hit your limit, huh?" Aya pouted, sticking out her lower lip. "Bully." Just then, she noticed the sign nearby. "Wait. This is the Eaton Center," she said, blinking in surprise. "Hey! We met up here before, didn't we?" Alex glanced at the building and let the memory hit. "You're right. That was around Christmas. Your mom sent you to pick us up." "Exactly. Let's go in," she said quickly, her spirits rising. "We'll call this the mall portion of our tour." "Date," Alex corrected with a smirk. Aya gave him a side glance. "Still not over that, huh? Whatever." They both laughed as they stepped into the mall. Inside, the vibe shifted to something softer, playful. Aya dragged Alex from shop to shop, commenting on jackets, scarves, and sweaters. At one point, she even held up a shirt and pressed it against Alex's chest, tilting her head in mock judgment. "Not bad," she said. "You could rock this." Meanwhile, in the background, half hidden behind a sunglasses rack, Geneva, Terrence, and Big Mike continued their now exhausting stakeout. "They finally look like they're actually dating," Geneva said, arms crossed but smiling. "Look how sweet they are." "More like two best friends messing around," Big Mike replied, munching on a pretzel. "You know what? Big Mike's right," Terrence nodded. Still suspicious. Back on the other side of the store, Aya and Alex finished their purchases and exited the mall. The sky had darkened, winter evening now painting the streets in orange glow and soft frost. Alex turned to her. "Time for the main event." Aya blinked. "Wait, there's more? I'm already full from food and fun." Alex grinned. Come on. I'll take you somewhere. Aya looked at him suspiciously but let him take the lead. At the same time, Alex's phone buzzed. A message from Geneva. Where are you two going now? Alex typed a simple reply. You'll see. Wow! Aya shouted, spinning slowly in the middle of the viewpoint. Above them, the stars gleamed sharper than usual, winter air clear and still, the skyline sparkling far behind. Aya took it in like a child seeing magic again. It reminded her of home, of quiet nights back in the province, of the sky they used to stare at without saying much at all. She turned to Alex and smiled. Not just any smile, the kind that's so soft, so full of warmth, it catches you off guard. Alex's breath hitched. Only I ever get to see those smiles. Hey, he murmured, just under his breath. What was that? Aya asked, tilting her head. Alex blinked. Nothing. Just watching this. I knew you'd love it. Aya flushed. She had definitely heard "love you" in there somewhere, and her brain short-circuited trying to confirm it. What was that again? She asked, trying to sound casual but failing. I said I love this, Alex repeated, slower this time, a little stiffer. But he realized his mistake too late. His words still lingered in the air, too close to something deeper. I mean, I love all this. The stars, the view, the... He paused. Yuan. Wah! Aya shrieked, clutching her head and spinning away in embarrassment. Okay, I get it. This is Geneva's fault. This is the effect of her stupid plan, she yelled, now muffling her mouth with both hands. Alex froze for a second, but something inside him shifted. Just a bit. Like a quiet confirmation of something that's been there for a long time. He smiled. So this is how it feels, huh? For now, though, he chose the safer route. What? You expect me to say I love you or something? He teased, grinning. That did it. Aya spun back around and started pounding his good arm with light, dramatic punches. You teasing jerk! Don't play with those words. You're gonna pay for that, she shouted, half laughing, half blushing. Nearby, hidden behind a bush and barely hanging onto their balance, Geneva, Terrence, and Big Mike nearly toppled over. Geneva slapped her forehead. Stupid Alex. That was your chance. Finally arriving home, Aya and Alex stepped back inside the warm comfort of her family's house. Alex, still staying over as a guest, followed her through the front door. Hey, you guys are back, Sakura greeted with a warm smile from the kitchen. Hi, Mom. Here. Aya responded, handing her a small paper bag. Good evening, Aunt Sakura, Alex added politely. Kenta was also there that night, leaning casually near the counter, giving them a look that spelled trouble. So, he started, lips curling. How was your date? Aya didn't skip a beat. Oh, we had a blast. The room fell silent. Sakura stopped slicing vegetables. Kenta's grin stretched wider. Aya blinked, suddenly aware of the heavy quiet. Wait. You meant day, right? She asked cautiously. Kenta's smirk deepened. Yeah. That's what I meant. Date. Another beat of silence. Then, snap. It was a tour day, not a date. Aya shouted, waving her arms in protest. Kenta shrugged. Well, you two were together all day, right? Yeah. Aya declared. We toured around, did that sake tasting thing, ate out, and then went to. She paused, then added with pride. Polson Pier. It was beautiful. Sakura had already stopped pretending to cook. Kenta leaned in slightly, enjoying every second. So just to clarify, Kenta said, counting with his fingers. You took him to the distillery district. Walked around together. Took pictures, right? Aya nodded. Then went to a sake tasting for 2 people. Which is a couple activity, by the way. Aya nodded again. Had lunch at a fine dining restaurant. Shopped together. Showed each other clothes. Then ended the night watching the stars and city lights at Polson Pier. Exactly. Aya said triumphantly, fists on her hips. Sakura clapped her hands once. That's a date. Aya froze. What? When 2 people enjoy each other's company and do romantic things all day, that's a date, Sakura added, clearly amused. Aya's eyes widened. Her face turned red. Her entire internal timeline replayed in an instant, the photo moments, the fork fight, the stars. Behind her, Alex just chuckled softly, watching her implode. And finally, a scream echoed through the house. No! End of chapter 13. See you next time for the next chapter. A family reunion.